Hello everybody and welcome to the Homesteads YouTube channel. Today I have decided that I'm going to give these currants a new home. Now I'm going to start off with some realistic advice. This is absolutely not the way you're supposed to be doing this, but currants are very hard to kill, and I have 6 bushes along the back here with 2 new ones that I planted last year. I have 4 different varieties. And there's just I planted 6 of these 3 years ago, and they just have started to kind of flower and produce a little bit, but their production is very poor, and they're stuck here in the shade for most of the day. They do get 6 hours of sunlight, but I'm going to bring them out to a nice open space where they're going to get lots of sun. And I figured, with it being spring still, you're supposed to transplant them either in the spring or fall. I find transplanting in fall to be poor reward. Generally, you actually have a higher percentage chance, at least in my experience, of losing plants. So I thought, since they're not producing really again this year, I would transplant the 6 that don't have many berries on them. And these ones, though, in the front here, only planted last year, and only a few feet further are producing significantly more. So I don't know if you can see those there. Yeah, this one is doing decently. This is white primus, which is supposed to be able to produce up to 20 kilos at maturity, and for a 2nd-year plant, I'm really impressed. So I'm going to leave these 2 this year to produce their berries and harvest those, as they're doing really well. But these 2 plants here have more berries on them than the other 6 combined. And the black currants back there in the middle here, the tallest ones, they were covered in blossoms and all of them fell off. So I'm just going to move them into a better location. Anyways, I thought I would show you what I've done here so far. So this is a red currant. I've pulled it out, and half the reason I'm moving them is that, as you can see, this whole area is being invaded by ivy, and it's just starting to become intertwined with the root systems and structures of these plants, you know, depriving them of nutrients, and the added deprivation of a full day of sun. I thought definitely time to move these along. So you can see the mature roots here and here. These were pod plants, and their root structure is a little poor. It was just starting to kind of spread out a little bit, but you can see the majority of the roots are still in a ball in the middle. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to ensure that I'm not transplanting any of this ivy into my garden. You can see here this white root, that is ivy. Some horsetail here, which is a voracious grower, always seems to come back. But basically, I'm just going to go through here, and I'm going to ensure that I'm not transplanting any of the stuff that I don't want. Another tip, basically you want to do this as quick as possible. I'm not going to give the roots a full wash, but I'm going to ensure that I'm only bringing over the plant that I want to be successful in my garden. So that's it. I've got all the soil away, and you can see that I dug quite widely around, about 2.5 feet around the plant, to get down as low as I could and ensure that I got as many of the roots as possible. I don't expect them to really love this, but they are a strong plant, and there's many reports of them surviving for over 30 years while still producing heavy yields. So I thought I would get these in the ground now, transplant them now, and the few berries that are on there, it's okay if they fall off, as long as it gives this plant a full season, so to speak, to lay down some new roots and hopefully produce for me next year. Okay, so we're over here in the main part of the garden. This is east and this is west. So these plants will now receive a full day's worth of sun, and I expect next year that they'll do better. If they don't produce next year, that's fine as well, but I would at least expect them to send up some more shoots. So marked out where I wanted to plant them. And I'm going to do this as quickly as possible. So you can see that I've applied lots of mulch in this area, and that's going to reduce the competition for this plant. I also believe that the soil is of a higher quality, so I expect the plants to grow better here for numerous reasons. Again, I'm just going to double check and ensure that I have no tag-alongs, no weeds that I'm trying to get rid of. And as I place the roots in, I ensure that they're nice and spread out. And that's it. So as you can tell, I'm a little out of breath, but I did my best to do that as quick as possible. Transplanting all 6 of them I'll do now, but basically I've marked in the ground here. I don't know if you can see that here, a little depression, and another one back here, 2 more over here, and then 1 more back over here. So I've got room for all 6 of them, lots of space between the plants so that they can branch out, spread out, and really become large as they're going to grow without overlapping each other. That'll also prevent disease. This is a windy spot, so that again will help with diseases and such. And you know, I'm gonna plant them so that the smallest ones are in the front row across here, and the further we go back there, the larger they get, and that way they won't be blocking each other out for light either. They're spread out enough that they shouldn't really do that anyways, but you know, just little things you can do to give your plants a little boost. And lastly, I'm going to ensure that I give each one of these a good drink of water for a week or 2, and make sure that you know, they have a chance to establish the small tendrils. There's small roots that might probably detach quite a bit digging up, but all in all, I think they'll do better here. I think they'll have more disease tolerance. I think I'll be able to defend them better, and yeah, that's about it. So if you found this useful, you give me a thumbs up and a like. I'd really appreciate that. Any shares go a long way to boost my numbers, and as always, if you like what we're doing, you can subscribe and follow along on our journey. Thanks for watching, folks. Have a great day.